Welcome to JAH Talk Show after 3 days. Amir Yusufi on Jawad Shah. Assalamu alaikum. I think this show become our habit, and these last 3 days I missed a lot to contact with you, with Jawad, and you all guys as an audience. So Jawad, how you spend these 3 days?
Well, first of all, Eid Mubarak to all the viewers. Belated Eid Mubarak to all the viewers. Although we had the show on very Eid day, and it was good Eid in a way that all over the world Muslims celebrated on the same day. Mostly, there was very little bits and pieces that were not with the rest of the world. Amir, 3 days went as enthusiastic as they could be, although we maintained the social distancing. However, we went to meet my grandmother, and then we spent a couple of days over there. Uh, it's a little far off area where the technology is not much available. So I had 2 days of peace, I would say. How did your 2 days? How did your Eid go? You being locked down and with family, how did it go?
Yeah, it's a good quality time with family. You can say that. Reading some stuff, playing with the children, watching some movies, and have seen some shows from our guest speakers. So because they are doing the
Uh-huh.
other show as well, so learning new things. Yeah, but these are quite good days. Very busy days, but
Yeah.
in the home, at home, we can't consider it could be happen, but it happened.
It happened, huh?
Yeah.
But since, as you know, in Pakistan, the lockdown was lifted during the Eid holidays, so we had a freedom to move. Yes,
Mm.
we maintained our safe distance and everything. That's a separate story. But anyways, COVID, as you know, is moving like it's soaring like anything in Pakistan.
Mm.
We are about to touch 60,000 number in a positive cases. Death rate has already shooted up in last couple of days. We have touched 50 per day. So COVID is not good. I tell you this situation today in Lahore. I was with one of my friend who happened to be the CEO of a hospital, and he was telling me this situation that he has no single bed left for any further patient. All his hospital, which is around 250 bedded hospital, is filled with the corona patients. So this is the situation right now. It is soaring, and I guess people needs to be serious about it. Anyways, I'm moving ahead. Let's
Yeah.
find out if corona has a solution from meditation. So
Okay.
you are talking about meditation today. Who's the guest and what are we discussing?
Yeah, we have our very good guest. He has already came in our studio, and the meditation is very important whenever, whatever you're working, reading, anything is playing. We must do with focus. Okay, and I especially heard this word in our from childhood. You're not focusing on your study. You're not focusing on your playing. So in parent teacher meeting, we are also hearing about this word most of the time, and I read somewhere it from the meditation we can increase our focus. So I'm very interested for this topic. Fresh mind is always good for productive work and happiness. You get it. I'm talking about with the Jason Grant, because he has this program Fresh Mind. So let's welcome him, because the audience has sent us emails and messages. They wanted to hear from him most of the time. So let's welcome him in the studio. Welcome back, Jason. Assalamu alaikum, Jason.
Assalamu alaikum, my sisters and brothers, and Eid Mubarak to absolutely everyone around the world. We've managed to fast another Ramadan, and it's been feeling quite unusual to be able to eat during the day, especially during these long days. So yeah,
So thank you, Jason, for
Jason
joining.
Takabullah minna wa minkum.
thank you.
So, Jason, before we start to the meditation, you are in the car. It's a different, very different. We have seen you most of the time on the table with the mic and some other stuff. Where are you going today?
So we are having some amazing time in UK, which is unusual for UK, which is mostly cloudy and so on. But today we have a very clear skies. And actually, we can talk about clear skies and cloudy skies in respect to meditation. But we've decided to take a little bit of a trip to the beach nearby. It's actually a beach called Camber Sands, which is these ancient sandy beaches from prehistoric times. So here you can find some of these kind of fossils, of ancient, living creatures and so on. And it's just beautiful time to have some time with the sea and understand where we fit into everything in this on this planet and in this universe.
Yeah, that's great. So let us know, Jason, what is this meditation we understand, we heard about, and we read somewhere? It is very important to increase your focus, improve your focus. And for improve your focus, the meditation is a one of the solution, a technique, whatever you say. So let us know what is the meditation, and is there any stretching need to do today? I'm not ready for that.
um, well, there is a little bit of stretching potentially of your mind to do, but that's actually more of a metaphysical activity than a physical activity. So let's talk a little bit about some of those words as well as what meditation is. There is the idea here that when we talk about God, Allah, right, he is a grand designer of the universe, okay? And the designer of the universe creates a blueprint, which is an outline, a diagram of how something should work, okay? In other words, design defines how things should work. And what is in your life design from Allah is mind, body, soul, spirit, all these kind of things. And each one of us is created by Allah with our own blueprints to make us uniquely the same. In other words, we here, all three of us here, are men, Muslims, human, etc. Those are our similarities or the sameness, and then we're different because, let's say, I might be a different race, or I might naturally speak some other language, I might be a different nationality, I might be a slightly different height, and so on. I might know some things that you guys don't know, and vice versa. Okay, so we're all the same, but we're different. So meditation is a process of spending time with yourself to actually try and understand and get to grips to acceptance of yourself as you are, as Allah made you, okay, including your spirit or your being, your mind, and your body. And so that meditation doesn't require stretching, as in, I got to make a move or some sort of thing, but it requires mind to be accepting enough or flexible enough to explore possibilities and different perspectives on who you are. And as we sit or walk or speak in meditation, what we're really always doing is we're exploring who we are and getting to know ourselves better. And in the knowing ourselves better, we actually have more opportunity to understand and comprehend other people. So that's really what meditation is. And a lot of the time, most people, you'll find that they don't really like themselves. They don't really want to be thinking about who they are, really. They want to do anything but spend time with themselves.
Mm.
In fact, one of our biggest fears is to be alone, okay? And that fear of aloneness or loneliness is a massive fear, because we have been also brought up to fear God. So if we're alone, then the only thing that we can ever be with other than ourselves is also God. And then because we fear God, we're afraid to be alone. Okay.
So it's been the meditate for meditation. You need to be alone and you need to be with yourself. Okay. But my question is, what I'm struggling to understand. We are saying in the meditation we need to focus something somewhere. Okay, maybe in the God and some other thing. But the actual issue
Mhm.
is the focus, because we are not very good in the focus of the things. That's why we are going to be meditate as well. So if we are not
Yeah.
good in the focus, so how we can do focus in the meditation? This is I'm trying to struggling to understand.
So the focus as a word, we can look at all these words as understanding what they mean. Many times people use words without not knowing really what they mean. Okay. So the word focus means to pay attention to something, really. Okay. So if I pay attention to my hand, I'm focused on my hand. Now, there's two types of focuses. I can really specifically focus in on a particular aspect. Let's say on this particular finger here, there is like a kind of, it's called uh, specific focus or narrow focus. Okay. Or I can look at the whole hand. Okay. And just look at the broader focus of the whole hand. Or I can
Mhm,
take a step away from that and focus on the arm, the entire arm. And then I can focus on broader aspects of who I am. And then I
mhm,
can focus on myself inside this car. And then I
mhm,
can focus on myself in the on this beach area here. Then I
mhm,
can focus on myself in United Kingdom. And then I can focus on myself in on the planet Earth. And then I can focus on myself in the entire universe. And I can focus on myself with Allah.
mhm,
Okay. And so these are all forms of focus, and what these focus levels or areas or granularities enable us to do is to both understand who we are, but also overstand who we are from a higher perspective, from a higher vantage point. Now, the reason why people tend to not be able to focus is, and this goes back to the cloudy or clear skies, is if I look back outside here, you see that the skies are clear. And if this was a nighttime, I would be able to see the stars all the way in the sky. But if
mhm.
there are clouds in the sky, I would not be able to see the stars. Now, the stars exist irrespective of where there are clouds or not, but a cloudy sky prevents me from seeing the stars. And so, the cloudy sky or clouds in the sky are equivalent to thoughts that come and go in the mind. And to learn to focus is to actually understand that the thoughts come and go like clouds in the sky, and we don't need to be attached to the thoughts. We don't need to hold on to thoughts like they're our special thoughts. They're just thoughts, and we can just observe them, see them, and let them pass by. And eventually, what you end up having is a clear sky like this. You have a clear mind through which you can see as far as the stars, or who knows how far you may be able to see, but you will be able to see far.
Jason, quite understanding and right that the thoughts that come and go in between the focus or clouds. My question is that this focus, the time period that we can focus constantly or continuously, is subjective. It depends that how much interest I have on certain subject, whatever I am doing, do I like it or not. But the ultimate point is that every individual will have a certain focus time interval. uh, Now I want to know, is there any technique to improve that time focus time interval?
I think just network is a problem.
Yeah, Amir, Jason will come back and we'll take him.
Yeah.
Amir,
Jawad,
you understood my question, right?
yeah, yeah,
You,
I understand. Mm,
we start thinking on something. Let's say we are making some more document or any presentation, or we are studying and we are reading a book. We can actually focus for a little while, or
mm.
and that can vary. For you, it will be different. For me, it will be different, and dependent what we are doing. So it's all subjective. It has too many parameters in it. Considering all those parameters, it will have a certain time interval, and after that interval I will lose my focus and that thoughts would come in.
Mm.
That my question is how that interval we should increase. How do we increase that?
Okay, okay, but when he is coming back, because he is outside from the home, so maybe he having some problem on the network
Yeah,
issue.
issue,
So
yes.
I'm also thinking about Jawad, how it will be linked with our religion. For example, uh, is it any evidence, or you can say that, is there anything you can read or you can refer from a Quran or from Hazur Sallam life they are doing? Because if you, I was just reading Surah Muzammil, Surah number 73, where is first 8 ayat is talking about tahajjud, okay, qiyamul lail. Okay,
Yeah.
so is this also way of meditation, or we are talking differently as what we have talked about just now? Yes, Jason,
So
welcome.
first Jason, welcome back, Jason. Uh, we missed
So,
you.
guys, yeah, guys, my device is overheating, and this is actually a little bit of a in sort of situation that may happen to you, in life, where sometimes you think so much that your mind gets so hot that you cannot really function anymore. And this is
Yes.
happening at the moment with my device. And what happens then is you experience a shutdown, which is what the device experiences here. It has like
No.
a emergency shutdown mode to say, well, I
Mm,
need to cool off a little bit,
yeah, yeah.
okay, because otherwise I'm just going to go on fire and burn myself out
Mm,
totally.
mm,
So
So Jason, I give you an
all yeah.
option. If the
Mhm.
device is not working properly, we can actually do this show on some other day because we don't want any bad
yes,
damage
yeah.
to your
Mm,
device or anything.
It's just fine. Look, let's talk for as long as the device allows. I put my That's why I'm in a little bit different position now to put it in the shadow. Okay, so this is actually also another thing here, that sometimes we have to hide in the shadow a little bit to cool off.
mm,
Okay, because in the shadow it's a bit cooler, and you experience this. I remember whenever I went to Egypt, you'll find the Berber people there, and they're always hiding in the shadow. Why? Because it's too hot outside. There's too much sun. And so it's actually sometimes in the shadow, which we have a psychological shadow, which is our subconscious mind, where we have to explore to find the actual places where we can both hide in, uh, relax in, cool off in, and actually discover ability for our minds to work again properly. Just like I put the device now in the shadow and it's cooling off because it's not overly exposed to the heat. Okay. And often the time what we find ourselves in as people, as humans, is we put ourselves too much in the firing line of
mm,
all sorts of thoughts and opinions of other people, and we start accepting those thoughts and opinions as our own identity. Okay, so this is what happens. For example, many of us have been brought up by parents who have told us, you're an idiot, you don't know anything, shut up, do this, don't do that, you don't know how to do that, you're not capable of earning big money, all these kind of things. And they become our own identity because those thoughts from our parents or surrounding or schooling and so on, they become so accepted by us as our own real truth. Meanwhile, the real truth is things like the word of God, Quran, and such things. Okay. And the Quran will never really tell you you're an idiot. Okay. So, if anything, if you have to take any thoughts on board, take the thoughts and words of God, not some next person who's passing by you.
Okay, so Jason, I will reiterate my question. Hope you did you get an idea what I was asking, that every individual, yes, objective will have its interval of focus, a specific interval to
Hmm.
focus or will be focusing, and then he will have that clouds, that thoughts coming in. How that
Yep.
interval can
Yep.
be, can it be increased, and if yes, what are the techniques?
Yes, absolutely. And so this is why a lot of people end up sitting in meditation on their own as a practice to become more comfortable with being with themselves and to understand that there is nothing to fear even in that situation. And so as you go into that uncomfort, that at the start it feels like it's uncomfortable. The more and more you do it, the more you become accustomed to doing it. Uh, and so, as you become accustomed to doing it, it becomes like second nature and becomes very natural for you to do it over and over again. And as you do it more and more, you get more and more depth of results and more better conditioning of the mind. This is similar to like if people start going to the gym. First time, you might want to push 10 kilos in weight, and it feels really, really heavy. You might do it 2 repetitions. And that's okay. The next time you go, you might do 4 repetitions of 10 kilos. 3 weeks later, you're doing 20 repetitions of 20 kilos. And it doesn't feel that hard. Why? Because you've been conditioning your muscles to actually strengthen up and deal with extra pressure and extra kind of load. Uh, Similarly, this is the case with the mind. As you sit more with yourself, you're able to handle that situation more and more.
Very right. I was once there was a trainer and I was attending that training. So he once gave us a technique. I just want a revalidation from you, or you can add a little
Hmm.
more on. So he said, put a candle and start looking at it, staring at it,
Hmm.
and do
Yep.
it for 1 minute and then 2 minutes, and until the thought come in, just don't look at anywhere else. Just keep staring at it. And as soon as the thought comes in, leave it alone. Then practice again and then practice again, and this will increase
Hmm.
your interval. Is that, you think, okay, or do you think it will benefit us? Is there any other techniques such as?
Yeah, you can practice focusing by any kind of thing. Like I said earlier on, you could just look at your hand and just stand there and or sit down and keep looking at your hand and see what you notice and see what you even think, right? Because at some point, if you keep doing this for a long enough time, what you might find is that the hand starts disappearing. The hand starts melting, okay? It starts like blending into the background because you start realizing the mind starts playing a sort of funny game on us, which is that it starts realizing that your hand is in the universe and it's just another um, thing that exists in the universe. It's made out of the same universal matter like anything else is made out of. So this car is made out of the same stardust like my hand is made out of. Okay. And at some point, there was a distinction that was made, but that distinction is mostly conceptual. It's created in the mind. And so, this is the process that then becomes a process which enables us to actually transcend our current identity, which we tend to think of as I am a Muslim man, human, and I might be like not liking my wife. Okay, so you go from that to saying I am close to Allah and I'm accepting of all my brothers and sisters, including my wife, and I have infinite amount of love to give to everyone. And if that produces loads and loads of money for me, so be it, because I will find ways to utilize that money to help other brothers and sisters around the world to live a better life. Two
Jason,
different identities. One does one thing, another one does another completely different thing.
Jason, what does willpower role play in the focus. I mean, what role the willpower play in meditation or focusing?
So willpower is quite essential, really, because at the end of the day, you are doing what you will do. You will do what you will. Okay. So, this is why in Islamic teachings, God says, look after yourself and I will look after you too. In other words, God will give you as many blessings as you need, but don't walk down into the road in front of a bus and get run over, because that's just stupidity. So the willpower is that thing which drives us to decide what is it that we will do. In other words, I might be kind of drawn to having an ice cream, okay, because it's kind of like enticing and drawing me in and welcoming. But instead, I go and I use my willpower and say, instead of eating an ice cream, I'm going to go and swim in the sea because it's better for my body. Okay. So that is where willpower comes into play. And then, so when you're looking at that candlelight, for example, and the mind kind of wants to watch Netflix or TV, or just go off and argue with your wife, you go, well, no, I won't do that. I will keep watching at the candlelight and keep focusing my mind on the candlelight to learn how to be more like that and not be affected by the surroundings so much.
Now here, so if I mean, this is very interesting for me. Uh, so Jason, if I am doing one thing which I have to do and I need to do,
Hmm.
however, my will says let's do this other thing, let's watch Netflix.
Yep.
How do we continue doing that with a focus? Because we suddenly lose our focus as soon as the thought come in to watch Netflix. We lose focus. Let's say we praying, and in the middle of the
Hmm.
prayer, we have a thought that I need to see
Yep.
my doctor. Just saying that, so we
Yep.
suddenly lose our focus. It
Yep.
might have
Yep.
happened with you, I don't know about, but it sometimes it happened with people that within
Yep.
the prayers they have their own thoughts that they are thinking, and they are not
Yep.
actually focusing on whatever prayers they are making during their
Yep.
prayers. And
Yep.
they don't focus in the prayers. You would have
Yep.
heard this problem a lot of time.
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
deal,
So
what do you
yeah.
tell
So
these kind of?
this is yeah. So the entire practice of Islam as a religious practice, a spiritual practice, is one of submission. Okay, you got to submit yourself to Allah, the all powerful, all merciful being. Okay. And what that means, what you do then is that you are surrendering your mind, okay, completely to the will of Allah. In other words, and this is what most Muslims around the world don't understand. They think that the surrender is a physical thing, but it's not a physical, it's a mental thing. Okay. And so you got to surrender the entirety of your mind to Allah. And when you do that, what you will experience is a profound transformation. It will be so profound that you will not ever believe. Right now, you don't even believe that that is possible. But when you completely surrender your individual will to the will of God, what you will get is what God wants for you, and that is incredible.
So belief of Allah is helping you the more meditation, good meditation and good focus. So you will be busy in some other thing. Okay. Two questions is very
This is also an important thing. Just second. There is a thing here in terms of believing and knowing. Okay. So the belief as a word is to say that I believe without evidence. Okay. I believe without knowing, really. I haven't experienced it firsthand. Okay. And knowing is when you've experienced firsthand, you have proof. Okay. So belief usually gets in the way. Okay, and this is counterintuitive, and it often doesn't make sense to people because people's minds are warped. Okay, but as you surrender all beliefs and you just let it be, so that you know what you get is a direct knowledge from God. Okay, and so you actually got to stop believing that this is going to be true, drop all beliefs, and what you will end up experiencing is the direct knowing of experience of being close to Allah, and that surrender to God's will, the actual Islam. And when that happens, again, I say it will not be believable. It will literally be unbelievable to the mind, because the mind is so small to understand the greatness and grandiosity of God. Yeah. That's why we have souls and spirit and so on, because the soul is much more capable of comprehending these things rather than the mind.
Mm. So,
Jason,
Jason,
mostly people.
quick question:
Ahmed,
is there any age restrictions, or what you suggest, or at what age we can start the meditations? And the new meditator, for example, if I want to start the meditation, so how long you will be suggested the people the first time how they need to start, and what are the time limit for this first meditation?
I would say do it to start off with, do it as long as you possibly can. Okay. Most people say that, oh, only do 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds. Okay. So you do it like that. And then next day you might go for 45 seconds. The next day might do a minute. And then maybe minute is the most you can do. So you do minute and minute and minute and minute and minute for day after day. And then you do 2 minutes, and then you're like, oh, it's okay. Nobody's died. It's fine. Life is still going on. And then you do 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and but if you can do 10 minutes, 20 minutes a day, you will find amazing relaxation happening in your life. Okay, and then as you start experiencing that, you'll start realizing, oh, this works. Maybe I can do more meditation and get more of this kind of experience of relaxation, peace, knowledge, connection, presence, and so on.
Mhm.
And then it will be just natural to continue doing that. So then when you go back to things like prayer, you will understand that prayer is just another form of meditation, but you won't have so many thoughts of saying like, oh, my daughter needs to have her Lego toys cleared up or something like that. It's like, it's okay. She can perfectly do that for herself, and that can wait, because that's not as important as you being connected and submitted to God completely. Okay. So that's that.
Jason, people normally, when hear meditation, they suddenly take an alternative. They take it as an alternative of yoga. Would you mind
Uh-huh.
quickly differentiating the two?
Yeah, so yoga is a physical practice of realigning your body to
Mhm.
be able to be more balanced and to be able to handle energy flow through the body better. Okay, in some sense, Muslims praying the way we pray is we kneel down and we go up and kneel down, and so it's a form of yoga. It's certainly good exercise for the body, right? If you do that 5 times a day, what you're doing, you're stretching, you're strengthening your legs, you're actually doing lots of stretching and so on. So that's all good. So that's kind of form of simple yoga, but meditation is really a mind practice. Okay, so yoga is like a physical practice and meditation is mind practice. It's just that it sometimes helps for you to be in a because if you want to be spending 2, 3, 4, 10 hours with yourself, right, you find yourself that if you're sitting in an uncomfortable position, you can't be sitting for longer than 30 minutes or 10 minutes. Okay, your backside starts hurting, and then you start thinking, oh my god, my backside is hurting, right? And what you want to be thinking about is Allah. Okay, so these are two different thoughts. And so uh that's why a lot of people end up sitting in a very, very comfortable positions that can hold them for hours, because if they want to be sitting and learning looking at that candle for hours, they better be sitting in a comfortable position. And then yoga is kind of one way to find those comfortable positions to sit in so that you can actually spend time with yourself. So that's how that correlates. But, someone like Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was meditating in the cave,
Yeah.
before he heard the word of God. And this all aligns up like that. So without him meditating in the cave and having a clear mind, he wouldn't have been able to hear the word of God, because he would have been focused on his wife telling him, "What are you doing in the cave? Come back here," and so on. So, he had to train his mind to actually be able to focus on what really matters. And that's how he brought down Quran, as opposed to, told people to go and fight each other and hate on each other, which is not wise thing to do.
Very well then. Excellent. This, uh, Jason, we cannot be thankful to you. You always value a lot in our lives. You make us feel very
Thank you
good.
so much, my brothers. Thank you so
Uh,
much, my
Today
brothers.
we
I
are
really
especially
appreciate it. Yeah.
we especially thank you because you're already outside, but you have taken time out to device malfunction, but yet you have managed it. Thank you very much, Jason, for teaching us meditation. I hope me, Amir, and our
Yeah, and
viewers
and
have learned a lot.
I have
yeah,
also
and so
learned
this
about
is
commitment.
actually,
I also learned from
yeah,
you
so this
and
is
his commitment. Mm,
this is another thing, as you might have noticed on this video, because it's very hot in the car here. Sometimes people meditate in kind of hot conditions, because what it does is that it uh, puts extra strain, right, on the body and on the mind, because you might be thinking, well, I need some water, I need some hot fresh air, I need to go and swim in the sea, and it's like, so the question is, how much can you focus on what you want to say? Because even this conversation I was treating as a meditation. I was focused, and even when my phone dropped and died, I was still focused on what I wanted to say and to be present with you guys. And then, I found a way to bring it back up. And so this was actually for me a meditative exercise. You might see that I'm sweating a lot because it's very hot in the car, but as I go outside, I'll enjoy my swim in the sea a lot more as I cool off. So it's all good. And this is a big realization from any meditative practice.
perfect.
We won't be the road blocker any further between you and your environment. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for teaching us another method, another technique, another level of understanding meditation. May Allah bless you. Have a good time ahead, and with the
Thank you so
commitment that
much, my
you will
brothers.
join us again soon. Goodbye.
Yeah, absolutely. All the best. Bye bye.
Bye. Yes, Joe.
Amir, it was meditation. They say if there is a will, there is a way. So Jason taught us this lesson without even telling us, without even teaching us. He taught us by his action that he
Yeah.
had this will to share his knowledge with us. He did it. He managed all his challenges that he had, such as being outside, being in hot, humid condition, and having malfunctioning of the device. He overcome everything, and he actually shared the lesson and the knowledge with us.
Normally we start a panic if this condition is happen with us. Sometimes is anxiety and sometimes is stress. I say, well, please don't go, I need to have the plan, and
So
it's
you
not.
have a guest tomorrow to teach us about anxiety.
Yes, so we have a very good link this time, huh? Very good
Yes,
link. And
yes,
today we have the very good guest again coming again,
yes.
Dennis. So we will talk about the more topics. So I think this week is very energetic week and good topics. So I'm very excited to hearing our guest speakers. Yeah.
Yes. So everybody, thank you very much for watching us today. Those who would watch our videos later on in the recorded, please do subscribe our YouTube channel, that is SOT TV. Also follow our Facebook page, that is SensoTeaser SOT. Please do share our videos if you like them, and if you want to keep these videos coming onwards forward, please do give us your feedback. You can give us our feedback on Facebook and on YouTube. You can also email us at sensoteaser@gmail.com. This is me and Amir signing off with a prayer that may Allah bless everyone. Allah Hafiz.
Love is.